I feel like if you were a woman born between 1993 and 1997, you have that commercial where Oprah was like, I love bread, like ingrained in a very special part of your brain. I personally think about that commercial often, but I'm also part of a very niche audience of women born between 1992 and 1996 whose mothers took them to Weight Watchers. So when I saw Oprah was buying Weight Watchers, I was like, oh my God, we're never going to escape. But this is not about Oprah. This is not about me. This is about bread. Bread salad, to be specific, because the way Oprah loves bread, I love salad. And this is a panzanella, which is a traditional Tuscan bread salad. But what I'm doing is making it with sun-dried tomato pesto and sun-dried tomatoes to essentially save any lackluster tomatoes that you might be picking up now that it's nearing the end of tomato season. I feel like tomatoes are currently a gamble. Like some are still really good, some are like on their last legs. So this salad uses a ton of vegetables, herbs, and a vinaigrette that will take any like down on its luck tomato and make it pretty good. And the reason we're calling this panzanella and not just croutons is we're using equal parts bread to equal parts salad. And the salad keeps really well because the bread kind of like absorbs the vinaigrette. Anyway, happy last raw salad before maybe big salad season. So my sister and her husband are visiting, and since they're staying with us, we're kind of eating at restaurants more than we are cooking. But we have like a lull period where it's like you don't want a full lunch. So I'm gonna make them a little like heirloom tomato treat. And I just went to a restaurant where they had sun gold tomato caramel on heirloom tomatoes, and it was amazing. So I was like, let's recreate it. 2 tablespoons butter, 1 tablespoon brown sugar, and 1 tablespoon soy sauce. I'm just gonna slice up this heirloom tomato and then this one, which I think is called a green tiger stripe. Have I showed you guys the prop closet yet? I feel like I have too many plates. This one. I wish I had like a cuter one with like a little rim or something. At the restaurant my friend and I ate this first at, we were like, how many vegetable caramels can a restaurant reasonably make? But if their vegetable caramel is anything like this sun gold caramel, it's pretty good. You're so friendly. So you know about my dream to have a Ben & Jerry's flavor called Hold It Together, where the ice cream's just there to hold together the toppings. It's my long-term goal, my retirement plan. But I recently learned from a follower whose friend works there that legally they have maxed out the amount of toppings they put in their ice cream while still being allowed to call it ice cream. Luckily, I don't follow any laws. And I have a ton of cookies, and I have a dream. So episode 7 of the classics is going to be ice cream, which is essentially a frozen creme anglaise where you whip together 4 egg whites and a 4th cup of sugar until it makes like a ribbon. Add whole milk, heavy cream, and more sugar, and heat that up, and then temper the eggs so that you don't make scrambled eggs. Pour the eggs in and make a custard that's 170 degrees Fahrenheit. This custard will need to chill in the fridge overnight. Chilling, you can't really skip that. But my most recent impulse purchase of the KitchenAid ice cream churner attachment, highly recommend. It's expensive, but I mean, look at what it can do. And then I add a full pound of cookies and cookie dough because it's my life, my rules. And according to the FDA, this is not ice cream, but I'm a modern woman, and who uses labels anymore? The 4 cookies I'm talking about, I'm so glad you asked. We have brownest butter, darkest chocolate. Even my fingers can't handle this. Levain could never. Cookie number 3 is the extra thin, extra crisp, for those of you that are sociopaths. The sour cream, which again, think of it as a sour cream donut. The nubbin is for me. There, now it's a perfect circle. So I don't know if you've noticed this, but I haven't told a story in the past 3 months on this account. And I was really proud of that, but then I was like, wait, why did I stop? And I stopped for a few reasons. Reason number 1, I felt like I was kind of forced into it. TikTok as an app rewards patterns, so I thought that every single video needed a sob story for it to get seen. When I really just wanted to talk about the food. So I was like, I don't want to do that forever. But also, people suck and the hate will get to you. Not you guys are tiny angel babies, but I stopped sharing a lot because I was like, if I make myself smaller, then you can't hurt me anymore. And I would rather not be seen so that I can not be hurt. And even between us, girls, gays, and theys, and the men who support us, thank you for being here today. I'm probably not gonna put this on any other app because I'd rather just stay small on those apps. But that leaves me with this very honest question of, if you were me, what would you do? Because when I look at my job, the top 3 things I love doing are 1, creating beautiful videos, 2, creating amazing recipes, and 3, connecting with people. So should I put my horse blinders on and continue to make only content that I want to make, which is kind of what I'm doing on YouTube, or do I play into the storytelling so that my videos get seen so people actually make my recipes? Or 3, do I just do exactly what I want to do, knowing it might not get seen by a lot of people? I filmed this video not planning to ask this question, which is why I have a manic look on my face at the end of this, but it's also because this soup slaps. There are many things I love in this world. I'm a lover, not a fighter. And bread and butter is one of those things. And Miyokos' new oat milk butter flavors are also one of those things. Like, let me explain it. I made 2 loaves because of how much I love these 2 butters. Now, the beauty of making 2 loaves is you really only need to make 1 dough. So I made 1 huge sourdough loaf and split it into 2 later. This is me doing the pre-shape. I have a whole sourdough video if you're more curious about that. But for this loaf, I did a cinnamon sugar filling. It's really easy. You just put it on top of the loaf before doing its final shape. And then to go with Miyokos' oat milk garlic parm butter, I did the other loaf by putting a mixture of a ton of dried herbs in it and folding it in almost the exact same way. Now I know I make my sourdough look really intimidating, but every time I fold it, I pretty much do something different. I'll write a full tutorial for how to do it online, but as long as your loaf has a decent amount of tension to it, like, you can't mess it up. So now I have a loaf in honor of the cinnamon brown sugar oat milk butter and a loaf in honor of the garlic parm oat milk butter, because I just want to get more people on bread and butter. And I love that this is plant-based. The garlic parm is insane. I hate to admit this, but we are nearing the end of summer. If I had kids, I'd be buying like color-coded binders right now. But instead, you as my children, I'm gonna talk to you about the tomatillo and the Anaheim pepper, because we can't end the second year of Tomato Girl summer without talking about the tomatillo. Now, the tomatillo is also a nightshade vegetable, so it's like a tomato sister, and it kind of does taste like a green tomato, like a little citrusy, a little sharp. You've had it in salsas before, I almost guarantee it. And this Anaheim pepper is like a poblano pepper, but with notes of celery and a little bit more fresh and herbaceous. And if you're like, Justine, I can't do more niche ingredients, I'm only one person, I get it. Late summer is pepper season, which is why it's one of my favorite seasons, so I guarantee you your Whole Foods will have either an Anaheim pepper or a poblano pepper just like lying around. And so now we have a late summer tomatillo sauce, and we have a late summer tomatillo salad, so of course I put it on beans, because this could be a ceviche, but I don't live in a location where the fish is that great, so I just like to warm up some beans, throw it in the sauce, and play restaurant, because, you know, there's nothing like a really fancy bean for the end of summer. So I just got back from vacation and basically forgot that I had this brown butter that I solidified, put in my stand mixer, and then put in the fridge. And I think it would be a pretty good time to make some brown butter cookies. In my cookbook, I go a little nuts. I have 4 different types of chocolate chip cookies, and then how to make the different ones in convenient little charts, because they're all kind of different. And I do reference them every time I make other kinds of cookies, because it's kind of nice to have like a framework, and then I can do whatever I want. So, sorry that I'm referencing my own cookbook. So I'm gonna follow the brownest butter, darkest chocolate, like with a few adaptations, because I'm gonna make this a blueberry pistachio sugar cookie. 110 grams of granulated sugar, 70 grams of brown sugar. And then we're gonna mix this until fluffy with the paddle attachment, which is my favorite attachment. Thank you for asking. And of course, scraping down the sides. I feel like I'd be a horrible teacher if I didn't tell you to scrape down the sides. Also, I got a little new spatula rest. I think it's pretty cute. It says in there a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm gonna do a teaspoon of almond extract because I'm out of vanilla. And then 1 big egg. And the egg is gonna turn this from grainy to like fluffy. And you can see, super fluffy. And then I'm gonna do 150 grams of flour, a teaspoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon salt. 100 grams of blueberries. Mix these in very gently. You don't want any of them bursting, because then your dough will be super wet. The cookie will be wet even after baking, and it won't be very fun. To a spice grinder, I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of pistachios. The plug is behind you. And 2 tablespoons of turbinado sugar.